Yo, this is former Nick Henry Walker. You're live and direct with Drunk Sports Talk. Holla.
Yo, you know what it is, man. It's Drunk Sports Talk, ladies and gentlemen. We got a very special episode today. You know, Cash is gonna take it over with the intro, but I just want to give a shout out, a salute. This toast goes out to you, Henry Walker. Appreciate you reaching out to us. Former Nick. Oh, this is gonna be a dope interview.
Salute.
Salud. Woo. Man. All right. I want to welcome everyone back to Drunk Sports Talk. We're gonna skip, the illustrious intro today. It's your boy Cash. You already know it's Q at television. You already know how we rock. And we got, like my boy Q said, we have a very special guest today, man. Former New York Knicks, former Boston Celtics, former Heat, one of the most highly touted high school players in the country coming out of this time. Mid-range game, shoot the three, jump out the gym. Yo, the dude has so much money, they used to compare him to Vince Carter, man.
Yeah.
Just all around great dude, hustler, grinder, got it out the mud. We all can relate to him. We want to shout out and welcome Henry Walker to the show. What's going on, fam?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate the intro and everything. Excited to talk sports with you guys, man.
No doubt, we got an immense amount of respect.
Yes,
So normally what we do, we take it from the rip. I was reading up on you a little bit. You grew up in West Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Were you around the Panhandle, or were you like the Panhandle's like Maryland, Virginia area, or were you further down by Kentucky?
I'm about a tri-state by Kentucky. So
Okay.
I'm a little bit more countryer than.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, you far out there. That's a nice little ways.
So you guys can kind of relate. I'm from around the same area as Jason Williams and Randy Moss.
Oh,
Gotcha,
nice.
gotcha. Oh, so you at Marshall area.
Yes, sir. That's my
Nice.
hometown in Marshall, for sure.
No doubt.
Okay.
That's the rest in peace to all those brothers.
Yeah, we all Marshall, baby.
Yes, sir.
Talk about your upbringing growing up in West Virginia. As a youth, I like to ask those questions because it kind of lets the audience know the fabric, the cloth you were cut from. Talk a little bit about that.
Man, truthfully, man, I grew up around extreme violence, man. Like, when I was coming up in my youth, it was the era of, guys were coming from Detroit, coming down to the small city, being able to, move their drugs faster because there's a lot of users in West Virginia, all those coal mining counties, all of that stuff. So the platform is there for them to come down and do their thing. So, with that trade, it brings violence. So, growing up around that, I just had people just always steering me away from situations. Man, I can just remember always being told, "Hey, get up out of here, go to the court." Even times like, some of my family members indulged, but at the same time, they would, "Hey, let's just go play. Let's go play one-on-one or whatever." So they would, always keep me geared towards the gym. So that was pretty much my coping mechanism. So, I got around 9. Basically just a lot of violent things that, kind of altered, my personality, looking back as a grown man now. But it kind of drove me to really dive into basketball and get out of there, man, to tell you the truth.
That's a common theme, no matter if you're in West Virginia, if you're in Brooklyn, if you're in, Miami Beach, wherever.
Mm-hmm.
The hustlers always kind of tell the baller, "Yo, stay away from that shit, shorty." You know what I'm saying? Go play ball. They always kind of look out because they recognize. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a different generation too. The
that's a
generation we're
fact.
in now is totally different. They want to mix the two, so it's dangerous.
Yeah, that's
Word,
so true.
word.
That is so true.
So before we get to the high school, were you doing AAU?
Yeah, I started at 9 years old, man. I started out, man, I couldn't dribble. I couldn't make layups, nothing, man. I could run
Yeah.
and I could jump. And it took a man named Dwayne Barnes, who was pretty much the only father figure I ever had, that took me in, took OJ Mayo in, and that's who I went against every day until I got my skills sharp. So I was in the trenches, getting my ass busted for a long time before I had the skills to compete.
So so that's a lot. You're playing at 9 years old. You're playing in the street. You're doing the AAU thing. You're doing some basically some organized ball. Like, would you say
Mhm.
you fell in love with basketball at that point, or you were just like, oh man, I need to get my game right, and then down the line, when you started figuring out, I got some skill, and then you're like, okay, I think I like this a little bit more.
Nah, initially it was survival. Just truthfully, it was survival, man. That was my church. That was how I could just get away from just the everyday life and the things that were going on around me. That was my sanctuary. So I looked forward to just getting to the gym just for that. And it wasn't until I got to around 14 years old where I thought, like, hey, I'm actually getting pretty good at this thing. We're traveling, we're playing all these guys that have names, and I'm holding my own. So it was about then I was like, yeah, I can do something with this.
That's dope.
Yo, so we get through AAU, right? You go to high school, right? I'm pretty sure you like you said you and OJ Mayo grinding it out, honing
Yeah.
your skills in the gym and all that. You know what I'm saying? Hell of a person to come up with. If y'all don't know OJ Mayo, go do your Googles. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
shouldn't be watching the show.
Word.
So you get to high school, right? And so I'm reading up on you, and as soon as you get to high school, you tear your ACL. Is that
Yeah, man.
right?
Yep. Yep.
How this in Kentucky? How you went to Rose Hill in Kentucky, right?
I did for a spell, and then I moved to Cincinnati.
Oh, you moved to Cincy. Okay.
Yeah.
How disheartening was that? Because that's one of your first couple of injuries.
Uh,
Just getting into high school as a freshman, you're ready to go. You balling out AAU. You're hype, and then the
yeah.
ACL goes.
It was at first. I mean, I made a play. I'm going fast break. I went to dunk. I landed wrong. So and then like going and getting the X-rays and all of that stuff, and actually finding out, man, I'm gonna be missing 10 months of hoop. It was
Damn.
it hurt. But my mindset was just like, you know what? Let me just take this. Let me, get stronger, get my body together, and get ready. So when I do come out there, that I'm better than ever. I'm sharper.
All right.
Absolutely. You and OJ, you play high school ball, OJ Mayo too, right?
Yeah, North College Hill in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Y'all was tearing shit up, dropping
Yeah.
20s,
For sure.
dunking.
For sure.
Shit was crazy. Super highly touted. I even read a quote, I forget by which exec from Boston, saying that they would even had that rule not been implemented where you got to go to school for one more year. You know how the NCAA, they on that grimy bullshit,
Yeah.
but
I
they
mean,
implemented. Well, the NBA actually did that, but had that rule not been implemented, that they possibly would have taken you out of high school.
yeah, for
My question to you is, when you were tearing shit up in high school, and you came into your own, were you like, was there a moment when you were like, okay, you know what, I could go to the league, I know I got this?
Oh, that was the goal. I mean, not to be cocky or anything like that.
Mhm.
We had came too far, from playing in T-shirts in a West Virginia State tournament to
Mhm.
actually winning our way to nationals to, actually winning the nationals consecutively. Like we came too far not to think that we can finish this thing and get to the league. So that was definitely the goal.
Yeah, facts.
I know you were invited to the ABC camp for like 3 years straight. We even found a picture of you with K
Yeah,
Love, with D Rose and OJ Mayo. How
yeah.
was that experience that you surrounded yourself with those kind of talents during that time? And how did you separate yourself to prove yourself that I'm here, I'm taking that leap into the A?
For sure, that's the proving grounds, and the thing that we prided ourselves on is we played everybody. We went everywhere, and we played all the top. If you was a top guy, top team, we want the smoke. Let's see,
Woo.
let's line up, and let's see who's the
Facts.
top dog. So going to that camp, man, we supremely confident. We've been against these guys all year, so it wasn't nothing new, and we just went and just did what we always do, and that was just put on the show and show out, man.
Love that.
Yo, let me tell the audience, like, cause I balled when I was younger. I played AAU. I played around the city. I never the ABC camp is different. It's
Yes.
For
You're not
sure.
invited to that unless you a baller. That, I think Nike Invitational was popping back then, if I'm not mistaken,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Mhm.
who are some of the guys up there, right? Because you get up there and you're like, okay, so I see him, and oh, this is him from this school, this is him from that school. I
Man,
gotta give him this. I gotta give. Who are some of the guys up there that you was getting, that you was quote unquote getting a smoke with?
listen, like me, I really didn't have no favorites, man. Whoever was in front of me, man, that's I was on that. I didn't need a reason, man. I was just a competitor, man. Just
Yeah.
coming from West V, that everybody just like, who these country bunkins everywhere we went. So I had that on my shoulders. So I was just trying to wreck with anybody, man. Just trying to, if you had a name and you said you was like that, I want to see.
Oh, I love that.
No
I
doubt.
love that.
Competitive.
Yeah. So now moving on from high school ball. I know you went to Kansas City University. I know you.
Kansas State.
Kansas State. Yes, and I know you played your first year under Huggins and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I know you only got to play 6 games. Your second year, I know you averaged 16 points a game, and you played alongside another freshman great in Michael Beasley. How was that experience of you guys playing that year and heading into the tournament?
I tell people all the time, man, that's the left-handed bandit right there. That dude, man,
Beasley's nice.
Immensely talented. The size, the grace, the athleticism, he had the total package, man. So, being able to play off him, it just made the game a lot easier. And he's another one of those dudes that's highly competitive. So, even in practice, we couldn't even play on the same team in practice because it was just crazy. So, we went against each other every day, and that's what made everybody around us lift their level as well.
Love that.
Ed mentioned you went there, and in the beginning we were saluting you because we said you came with so much adversity. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You had the injury in high school. Mm-hmm. That's injury number one. This is when I started really digging deep into your history. I'm like, yo, he really had to overcome a ton of shit.
Yeah.
You injured your other ACL when you was at Kansas State, right?
Yeah.
Now you're already highly touted. You're already doing your thing. You and Beasley tearing shit up. Your other ACL goes.
Before, so
okay, it's before.
Yeah. So my senior year of high school, I had tested out, and I had already had enough credits to graduate. So I went to Kansas State in the December of that year. So I was trying to get in the draft with Kevin Durant and Greg Oden.
Yeah. 07?
07 draft. I was trying to do what the football kids do, how they go early and get in there and play right away. So I got there, man. I'm gaining momentum, man. I'm killing it. The team is starting to get behind me. We starting to win, starting to have that energy, and then we go to Texas A&M. I do a jump stop in the lane and pop, and being familiar with it before, I already knew what it was. But this time I tore, both of my meniscuses up, so it was, it was devastating for sure.
Any thoughts like, yo, damn, it's a wrap for me? Or you just like, you know what, I'm just going to get right?
Of course that comes in your head, man. That was the first thing I thought, man. It's like, oh, like now, like right now, out of all the stuff that I've been through, like right now I get to this point and it's like, man, my body like does this to me. So I did that for like a week, man. I ain't going to lie. I was out
licking your wounds.
And then, just something told me, man, like, look, man, I done came from 1023 Minton Street, West Virginia, man. Like, this ain't nothing but some more work. So I picked myself up and I got to work, man. And I built myself back. So that next year when Mike and all the guys in my original class came, I was ready to go.
You were redshirted, right? So you didn't lose no eligibility, right?
Yeah, I was redshirted, yeah.
Okay, all right. So yeah, that's what's up.
That's crazy. But yo, let me ask you, you're in college, you're hurt, you're trying to get back and heal up and go back to killing it. And like, what do you remember the exact moment when you came back and you were like, yo, I'm definitely gonna, like, they're approaching me, or I'm definitely gonna get drafted? And was there any talks about any teams prior, like what I mean? Like
that's tampering, man. They can't do that.
Yeah, but yo, come on, man. We all seen blue chips.
But, there's scouts around, so they come and see.
You have them team workouts,
practices. They're popping in practices, workouts, and you got your strength coaches and all of them. Hey, man, I got such and such, and all these people asking me about. So you kind of get a feel like if you have some sort of pull for the league, they'll to get
to the next level, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I just wanted to ask as well, after you overcame the injuries after college and everything, and you was setting up yourself to go to the draft, all your hard work, your rehab, everything you went through, when you finally got drafted by the Washington Wizards, even though it was second round, still, you were drafted. How elated were you? And you were like, yeah, this is my crowning moment. Like, I'm here. I'm going to show and prove who am I, and I deserve and I belong here.
Well, I mean, I would have been lottery, but I got hurt again in
The
pre-draft.
Golden State tryout, right? Yeah.
So you guys got to imagine, I didn't work the whole year. Got back.
Yeah.
I get the pre-draft. I went to Detroit. I'm killing that workout. I killed a workout in Toronto. So my stock is rising, man. Like teams are like, man, it's good to see you back to your normal self, and things of that nature. And then, man, I go to Golden State and I tear my meniscus, man. So at this time, this was like the fifth,
Jesus
sort of
Christ.
repair that I had. So I'm forced with a decision of, do I go to college? Do I go back to college and possibly get hurt again and not be able to, chase this dream? Or do I just stick it out and just, if I get drafted or if I don't, then I just go about my business that way. So that was my thing. I just stayed in, and then luckily, Boston, they took a swing on me, and I got to, join the league.
I
just want to backtrack for a sec. When that injury happened to you, were you like, yo, the basketball guys just don't want me to go to the league, right?
Yeah, you must have feel like a Knicks fan.
Just, hey, man, looking back, I was just like, man, I don't know what I possibly could do different to avoid this, but it's just anatomy, man. Everybody's built different, and
yeah.
That's something I had to accept. So it's not like I wanted to, get injured and do that thing. But
do you think you had that? Because you had so much athletic ability, that torque, that
sure,
fast twitch torque. They talk about Derrick Rose, how that kind of might have fucked him up.
Yes,
Zion, you know what I'm saying, his injury. You think that's what it was? Your body just couldn't handle the torque?
And then you got to think that, we lifting legs, we super strong. So that's a lot of force you taking off and landing with. So it's a matter of time.
Okay, so now you get drafted in the second round, right, by the Wizards, but you wind up going to Boston.
Yeah.
How much? I know you said you had scouts popping in and out, and you kind of have an idea where you might go. Do you think you would have went high first round, mid first round, barring the injuries not happen?
Barring the injuries, I would have lottery, man. No
lottery. Woo.
Yeah. I love that.
So that fucked a lot of money up.
For sure. But I'm one of those people that, I believe things happen for a reason, and maybe that's part of my testimony, so that when I do actually step into coaching and things of that nature, that I can give these kind of testimonies to the youth about just staying the course and chipping away at it.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's powerful. That's what this youth need now. The kids from this generation, that's what they need. Positivity.
Yeah, and a lot of respect is missing, man. Like, you just look around, it's respect. That's the main thing that's been missing in the game right now. Just the parenting. There's no respect between kids. It's just a lack of respect.
Respect.
I agree. I have a 15-year-old. He's going to turn 16. So I get. I try to always instill the values, morals, and principles that I was taught in him and stuff like that, so he could grow up being a positive man in this world.
What's that first day like when you step into that? Into practice with Doc, and they had just came off, I think, a chip the year before, right?
2 years before.
Yeah, no, that was the year they won it.
All right.
You're the next year, right? You came in the next year, right?
All right, yeah.
So you come in there, you see KG, you see Rondo, you see Perk, right? You see Big Baby, you see Ray Allen. What's your thoughts in there? You like, yo, I'm gonna go bust these niggas' ass, or was there like a little bit of like trepidation, maybe?
Come on, man. You seeing Jesus Shuttlesworth, you seeing Big Ticket, you seeing the Truth. These guys that I admire and I've watched on TV. So the first thing you get is the awe. But as soon as you line up and they start talking shit, it's like, no,
let's go, right?
You in here for real. They let you know, like, we in here. This is it.
Especially a guy like KG, because I heard he's a big time.
Man, I love Ticket, man. Ticket reckless. He ain't even talking to nobody. That's the thing about it. He's motivating himself. But
I love that.
He a dog though, man. You got to understand. He came in the league out of high school, and they was trying to make it a point that they didn't want the high school kids coming in.
And he got that big bag.
They got they took it out on KG and he endured. Man. So they made a monster.
95 and 96 was KG Kobe. That was like that kind of like set the seeds in motion. Like we can't let these kids come out of high, which is ridiculous. I have a whole problem with that, but I don't even want to talk about that.
You and me both, man.
That messed a lot of generational wealth up for certain people. But
for sure.
Give me a story that we might not know. Being in Boston, you know what I'm saying? Just going against these dudes.
I'm gonna protect the names of the innocent.
All right. We'll try to figure it out. We're pretty good detectives.
So we come in early. We work out. This is like September-ish, right? So Chicken and them, they in and out. They're not really there all the time, but they in and out in the summer. So this is like going into September before the whole team has to be there. So we just working out, me and a bunch of other guys, right? So one day, fam forgets his shoes. So I say, all right, bro, I got some shoes in my locker. You can wear mine. He's like, nah, your foot is too big. He goes and into the, the shoe area where they hold all the stuff. So he comes out with this pair of Adidas. I happen to look and I see KG's face on the side of the Adidas. And I'm like, I'm a basketball, like, I'm an addict with this basketball. I'm looking. I say, yo, man, those shoes that you got on right now, those is a player edition, my man. They don't sell those in the store. You know that, right? He like, oh, no, it's going to be cool. I got them out the back. I'm like, listen, man, I think you should take those off, my man. Like, nah, it's all good. Okay. So we working out, man, and about 30 minutes in, man, we just see this long dude just poke in. And he looked, and I look back as KG. He kind of twitching his face, like, what? You know what I'm saying? He got that look on him, like, yo, what the? So he disappeared. So after we get done working out, me and Boy, we go into the locker room. We taking our stuff off. Well, my man is looking in his locker, like, yo, I ain't got nothing in my locker. Everything is gone. I look, I said, dang. I said, man, everything is gone, bro. Like, no keys. Nothing.
Cleaned out his whole locker.
Man, cleaned his whole locker out, put it in a trash bag with the breakfast. It was popcorned his car. It was crazy, man.
Popcorned his car. Wow. That's the thing. I heard.
Wow.
I heard popcorn so quick. I don't know where they got the popcorn at, but it's the kernels when they breaking up, when they stuffing that in there, man. That's crazy detail work you got to go through.
Yo, was that popcorn? Yo, was that a thing? Because I heard Kenya Martin say that that J.R. Smith in a popcorned his car and he dumped out on him.
Yeah, they dumped out on you. Yeah, that right there.
That's crazy.
The butter, you got that. It gets crazy.
So they popcorn Eddie House's car. I mean, and
nah.
I ain't gonna let you buy. Yeah, just trying to get
you. It was young guys. It
wasn't. It's gotta be.
Yo,
Ed, pull up the roster right now. We gotta find this out.
I'm gonna take a swing and I'm gonna say probably Big Baby. It sounds like Big Baby was just.
I'm gonna protect the names of the idiots.
Big Baby would have been scrapping. So yeah, man, that's cool stuff, man. Playing with those dudes, man. So what did you like? Okay, so being around those veterans, because Rondo wasn't a veteran at the time, but word on Rondo is he's like a basketball savant. Everyone says,
yeah, he's super. He's a wizard, man.
Right, LeBron and what's the dude that does the podcast with him now?
I think it's JJ.
JJ Redick was bigging up his IQ.
Yeah.
Did you being in the gym with those guys and playing with those veterans? Is there anything you took from them, like?
Yeah, man. Preparation. Ray Allen's always prepared. Rondo's always prepared. Paul's always prepared. How they focus on the game. How they take everything serious. Every little detail. Just how they get their reps in. How they go about their work every day before practice, after practice. The extra time that they put in. So that was stuff that I stole from them. Just being serious about the craft and trying to be the best that I could be.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Matt, because you mentioned Paul, and I have to ask this question. Like back then, was he just like? And you don't have to name no moments. You don't got to do nothing. But like, was he just like as kind of like as crazy with his comments is or whatever it was, like how he has been recently the past few
he's
years.
the,
You know what I mean? Like,
he's the
was he
guy
the
you
same
see
way
today.
back then?
Yeah, he's the guy
he
you
was
see today.
he was just like that back then.
Yeah, he's the guy you see today, man. Paul's like that. You know
Paul's
what I'm
like
saying?
that.
He'll be in the game talking crazy to folks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Paul's like that. He's one of the best players ever. He's underrated. Guys
Yes.
don't give him a lot of credit, but
Yes,
so-
I agree. I totally
So,
agree.
yo,
being
so,
around this dude.
cigar in this mall, shorties around, strip
Mhm.
club.
I mean,
Yeah,
everybody
you wild.
does their thing, man. But Paul's the ultimate professional. Don't get it
Absolutely.
twisted.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Oh, yeah.
I
Paul's
can't
a
take
dog.
anything.
He was a
Nah, let's not.
clutch.
Yeah,
Hold
He's
up.
clutch.
Let's clear something up. I'm a Knicks fan, so I don't like the Celtics, but Paul was a dog,
You gotta
100%.
respect
You know what I'm
him,
saying?
for sure.
Yeah, facts. You know what I'm saying? Paul's that guy.
I'm not gonna even lie. I'm a Knicks fan too, but I had a poster of Paul Pierce on my wall because his game
Paul was a dog.
You know,
Nasty.
he was a
Yeah.
dog. Double P, he was no joke, man.
Yeah,
True for a
clutch.
reason.
He wasn't about all that friend. From what I've seen from the outside looking in,
Nah.
he wasn't about all that friendly. Let's
He
be
about
friends,
busting
LeBron
ass.
shit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
he
He
about
wanted
busting-
smoke. He wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, even the story with Shump. I mean, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
you guys seen the
Yeah.
story floating around when when Shump was guarding him. He's getting
he's
a
like,
few buckets
"Who's
and he
this?"
told Melo,
Yeah.
you know, whenever you ready.
Yeah,
Whenever
Paul
you ready to
crazy.
stop playing around, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? But Shump was a great defender.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And for him to be able to do the things that he can do and score on a guy like Shump and guys like Ron Artest, like it tells you that he's like that, man.
Yeah, he's a dog.
He didn't back down.
Two more questions for me about Boston. Doc Rivers, right? Like, if you look around now, a lot of people are giving Doc Rivers shit, saying he's living off that '08 championship. You know, everywhere he go, he blew the lead. They saying he blows more 3-1 leads or 3-2 leads than any other coach in the NBA. And he's, he went from the darling of the NBA to kind of like the villain, for lack of a better term. Talk about playing under Doc Rivers. What about Doc Rivers? What did you learn from Doc, if you anything?
Well, first of all, it's extremely hard to win in professional sports. Let's just get that out the way. It's especially hard to close out a series.
Indeed.
Okay, you got to understand. You got guys at the top of their game. Some guys just need one shot to get hot.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? It's tough. It's tough to close out games. It's tough to win regular season games. You guys see it all the time. You can play a team where you think, man, we should have beat them by 20. None of that matters, man. It matters about the shot quality and the pace of the game and the rhythm of the game, man. Anybody can get beat. So, I think he gets a bad rap. But he's a great coach. You don't make it to that level and have the amount of success that he's had and get in those situations to blow leads without, being good at what you do, man. I think a lot of people took shots at Doc because they had, personal gripes and complaints, but I'm not that type of guy. I mean, regardless if I like somebody or not, I'm not going to take a shot at him. He's highly respected in his field, and that Boston team, he just had the right chemistry and the right personalities. You had KG. To me, was our best player, but he was our most unselfish player because he allowed Ray and Rondo and Paul offensively to be aggressive while he took a back seat.
Right.
But he demanded everybody up their defensive game. And that's what you need to win. You need great leaders and you need luck, man. You need a lot of luck to win in the NBA. You need things to go your way.
That is true. And I'm sorry. One final thing for me, question: when you played for Boston, I know you were on that team when they made that second finals run. And,
no. I was in New York then.
Oh, you was in New York in 2010 already? All right.
Yeah. That's
I
when
was
they
there
lost to
the year
Kobe, right?
we lost to
the Magic,
Orlando. That's the year KG got hurt.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my mistake.
So Orlando played the Lakers, right?
Yeah,
in 09. Yeah. My fault. I thought you were still on that team. I know you came to us.
Yeah, I was already in New York. I was in New York before Stoudemire came.
Before Stat came.
Mm-hmm.
All right. When Stat's like, New York is back. I still remember that.
Yeah.
Yo, all right, so let's transition to New York. So when you get to New York, right, you said before Stoudemire there, D'Antoni's there?
Yeah.
So who was that? It was D'Antoni. Was Felt there?
No, it was Al Harrington. Eddie Curry. Gallinari.
Oh, it was the remnants of the Isaiah era still there a little bit. Yeah. Boston is a fairly big city. You coming from West Virginia, going to Boston, so you probably acclimated to the city life at this time. But when you get to New York, man, like talk a little bit about that because your role got bigger than you were in Boston. Boston, you were in and out of the D League. And I want to ask you later on. I want to ask you about they're about to dead the D League. I wanted to ask your opinion on that. But when you get to New York, talk a little bit about having a bigger role. D'Antoni giving you that bigger role. That what is that? That 7-second offense where you gotta have. Yeah, talk about that.
The league is opportunity.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great players that don't get the chance to go out there and play through mistakes. And what happened was I was in a position, he really didn't have anybody. So that allowed me to go out there and explore my game and play and not have to worry about, all right, I got to sit down if something goes wrong. So when you're able to play free like that, I was able to do some things, set career highs in scoring, 20 balls. I was able to play my game. And that was just, for me, just to prove like, man, if I get a chance to go out here and play, I can produce. So, I proved that to myself. So, and that goes for a lot of guys in the league. It's just opportunity and a coach that will let you go out there and play through things, and you'll see, you'll see production.
I got another question for you, Mr. Walker. I know you came to the Knicks, like you said, in 2010, when we as Knicks fans in the city felt like the tide was changing, it was turning, like after all these losing seasons and stuff like that. What was the vibe for you when you came to New York and the Garden, the city? Like, how did they embrace
the
you?
Mecca.
The Mecca.
Man,
How do you feel like they embraced you?
It was incredible, man. Because as a kid, I used to watch the playoffs, the Knicks and the Bulls, the Knicks and the Heat. I mean, playing in Madison Square Garden is like, that's a dream come true, man. And just to actually hit that floor with all the greats that played there, and Clyde being, the announcer and seeing him
dishing and swishing.
Listen, hey, but I got so much respect for him because that's one of the godfathers of the game. He was one of the dudes that did his thing in such a way that it brought attention to the game, and we shouldn't forget the sacrifices that these guys made. So I love
That's
Clyde.
dope that you say that, man.
If he's swishing and dishing, whatever lingo Clyde got, hey, let him be, man. That's a goat right there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did he give you any? You ever have a conversation with Clyde at the time?
For sure, Clyde is accessible, man. I just, I would ask him questions about, his time in the league. Forget about me, and so I would just ask him about his time in the league and how they prepared and the things that they went through and who he thought was, the goats of the game, because he's seen a lot of basketball, and like I said, I love basketball. I'm a basketball junkie, so I wanted to know. Like, was Chamberlain and them really like that? Was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that the knowledge that he had, I was just trying to, get it as much as I could whenever I was around him.
Love that.
One more question, my bad, guys. We had Chris Childs on maybe like a month ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about how he doesn't get invited back to the Garden. There was like a little bit of tension between ownership and coaching. It was just like tension throughout the Garden.
Yeah.
James Dolan has fallen back. The knock on Dolan these last 20 fucking years, excuse my language, has been that he's been meddling. He's fallen back since then. And we're doing a lot better. He's let Leon Rose and them run the show. But when you were there, did you sense like a tension with Dolan?
For sure, and listen. The stars of this game, they all talk, man. It's a fraternity. When they're up in that rare air, they're talking to each other. Mm-hmm. And the treatment that guys like Pat Ewing got, you got a guy that's respected like that. He should have never wore another jersey.
Facts.
And 100%.
I'm just speaking as a basketball fan. Mm-hmm. The blood, sweat, and tears that he put in for the franchise, he shouldn't have had to go anywhere else. He shouldn't have had to go to Orlando or anywhere.
Seattle, all that.
He should have never been able to take that jersey off. Just out of respect for what he did with his time there. And guys know, like, if you're not going to take care of your pillars of your franchise, then why would people want to go? Why would LeBron want to come to New York? Why would D Wade and those guys want to come to New York when you don't take care of the guys that are the staples of your franchise? So a lot of that goes into why, a lot of people don't go to New York. And also the media, man. It's something about doing your job, and there's something about being vile and being personal doing your job.
Yeah.
When you attack the players on the team and you say things just to get the clicks and the views, guys remember that. Nobody wants to be scrutinized in a way where they're at work trying to do their best, and you're out here writing articles and hit pieces, behind the scenes work with people that don't want to put their name on statements, just feeding you anything. A lot of that goes on in New York, and that takes away from how good the Knicks franchise could really be. And then everybody's seen what happened to Oakley in the Garden, which that's
facts. We just saw Oak. We just saw Oak the other day. We was at his signing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And everything that your brand is built on is that New York toughness, that New York grit, that concrete jungle.
Blue collar.
Who do you think? Who do you think established that?
Yeah.
We talk about the Xavier McDaniels, the Oak,
X-Man,
John Starks,
the Starks,
Greg Anthony.
You know them, the Greg Anthonys, the Derek Harpers.
Yeah.
You know the people that establish their identity. So when they
Talking.
come back and you treat these people like that, man, you gotta be accountable.
Preach.
Let's toast. Let's have a shot.
Yeah.
Let's take a shot.
Yeah, I gotta take a shot for that because that was real. That was real as hell.
Salute.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you saying that because
Henry Walker keeping it bucks.
Yeah. Salute.
I love New York, man, and
absolutely. But you keeping it a buck, and we respect
man.
that.
Nah.
We New Yorkers, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
We fuck with that.
And as Knicks fans, not because you on our show, we embrace you too. I thought you was a hell of a player with us, and during that
I appreciate it.
Yo,
the franchise around to be a winner, you was a big integral part on those teams that we were on. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
And me
I
and my
find
we loved you.
I think both times. I think in a couple of those years we ended up like in second in the division. I mean,
wait.
You know what I mean? Like,
Hold up. I don't want to speed. We're gonna get to that.
Right.
I just want to say one thing. I want to cover everything because it's fascinating that you talk about the perception among players and how they talk because our perception as fans and New Yorkers is like there's this thing like, oh, he don't want to come to New York. He don't want the pressure of having to save the franchise and everything. But it is because we always wonder: is it that, or is it Dolan and these dudes alienating into the reporters? So you're saying the talk among the consensus around the league is in fact that
it is that, and it is the pressure of playing in New York.
Fascinating, yeah.
Everybody ain't built for that pressure cooker, and that's why y'all gotta tip y'all hat to Carmelo.
No doubt.
Carmelo wanted that. He wanted that.
He ran over here, but he a New Yorker though. He a Brooklyn dude. Like Baltimore.
Still. And I'm telling you, he's underrated too to me.
Oh yeah.
The Melo.
Forget about it.
We talk about work, clean work, man.
Listen,
I ain't seen nobody score the ball like that, man.
Effortlessly.
Kobe said he was the hardest guard.
And man, it happens. Listen, physical,
bully,
quick. He got the handle. He got the footwork. He got the jumper.
Yeah, that footwork, boy. That footwork.
He got the power.
Yeah.
However you want it. I mean, he can shoot the three. He's a 5-level scorer. He can work the pick and roll. I mean, things just like. And again, he gets a bad rap. Oh, he didn't win. He didn't do this. Man.
He's an ISO player. That's like, and they trying to whitewash. You know, what I don't like.
No.
I don't like that they
your
try
favorite player. Your favorite player is an ISO player.
ISO.
You go to the game, ISO player. That's how the game is played. When you got the guy that can score the ball, you give him the ball. It's a simple game.
Facts.
And you play off of him. I mean, you look at MJ and people listen. Same way. He's a scorer. He's a killer. What do you think he's going to score? That's how he plays the game.
Yes, sir. 100%.
So that being said, talk about, you said you were there before Amari. Amari comes over, and then I think that season, halfway down the line, Carmelo kind of forced that trade. Yeah. I think Donnie Walsh was there, right? Donnie Walsh was the GM.
I think so, yeah.
So we gave up all those players. So, the knock on him was that if had Melo waited to after the trade deadline, we could have got him for a lot less things. But forget about all that. What was it like playing with Amari and Melo at the same time?
Well, I mean, before Carmelo got there, we were pretty much in essence running D'Antoni's system. That 4 out, and he had a lot more space to play, and the ball is coming to him. He's the number one option. So when you get a guy like Carmelo, who is a perimeter player, he's going to have the ball more.
Yeah.
So I think they kind of clashed a little bit that way. From Melo's not a pure pick and roll player. He needs ISOs and things of that way.
Yeah.
So their styles kind of clashed, but you mixing those two together. I mean, who wouldn't? You get a chance to get a Hall of Fame small forward, man. I'm on the team, and I would have made the trade. You know what I'm saying?
Amari was balling like
Yeah, man.
before
Yeah.
Melo
Yeah.
got there. I remember
Yeah,
that.
freaking
And-
30s, and
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was already used to that Tony
Amari
system
cold,
and
too.
previously in Phoenix, so it was easy
Yeah.
for him to transition.
Amari
yeah,
cold.
we thought it was gonna be, it was gonna be a big thing, but it ended up, kind of like backfiring, like
I
a lot
mean,
of other
but
moves.
you got to build.
Mhm.
There's things that go on that the fans don't know. There's levels
Right.
to this team building and things. You got to have the right people top down, man, and you got to be able to mix the play styles, and we just didn't do that well. And as a supporting cast, I mean, you know we didn't provide the best support for him as well. So everybody has to be accountable in that situation.
Yeah, and I think there was even like I think there was like a season, well, there was a season, when D'Antoni, and then he leaves, and then Mike Woodson takes over.
Hmm.
What was it like with the two different coaches? Like, did it break up any dynamic between the team?
I mean,
Like, was it clear to
I
see
like
that
Wood.
yeah, you know what I mean? Was it clear to see that something was working that
Wood got
D'Antoni
jerked.
wasn't doing?
I think that
And how did the team take it as a whole? As long as
I think that with all things, like if you are on your kids and you keep parking one thing in one voice, they kind of get tone deaf, right? So it wasn't that the things that D'Antoni was doing wasn't working. I just think that after a while, it's like we're not progressing. So it's like we got to do something. And in the NBA, the easiest thing to do is to get rid of the coach. You can't get rid
Yeah,
of
the fall
15
guy.
guys. So he has to die on the sword. And and Woodson came. It's just a different voice, and he prioritized different things than Mike did. So and his system worked a little bit better with the personnel that Woody had. And like I said, it's all about personnel. Had D'Antoni been able to get the personnel that he wanted to run his offense, we'd be
Right.
talking something different.
Speaking on the personnel and D'Antoni, I know D'Antoni was more of an offensive-minded coach,
Hmm.
and Woodson came in more of a defensive-minded coach. I
Yeah.
remember in a recent interview I heard with Al Harrington and Q Rich, they were saying that D'Antoni didn't care about playing defense, and so
I mean, it's not that he didn't care. The emphasis is on the attack, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you want to get more shots up, and you want to get up and down, and it's pretty much an endurance game that they play.
Okay.
So if we can run you for 48 minutes,
Yeah.
we'll get the stops because we're banking on we're more conditioned, we're more shape, and we're more used to playing at a higher pace.
Okay.
And everybody's not conducive to playing that way, especially if you got guys that like the ISO. So if you got a guy like Carmelo, that kind of goes against everything that the offense is standing on because he has to get touches where he's going to slow the ball down.
So it's like a motion offense almost, like that type of deal?
Yeah, so it goes from motion into a ISO,
Yeah.
right? So you got four guys that like to play motion, and then you got a guy that is stellar in the ISO role. You don't take away from his ISOs when he can give you 30 points a game. It's just
Right.
the
Just
the
wasn't a
counter
fit.
to that just didn't fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he had Steve Nash. He had dudes like Sean Marion.
Yeah.
He had dudes that
Johnson.
fit that system
But
perfectly.
we
in
had
Phoenix.
we had Chauncey Billups and
Chauncey
Billups.
things were, and people don't understand that things were rolling until Chauncey got hurt.
Yeah.
Chauncey got hurt, then everything kind of spiraled after that because
Yeah.
Melo needs a point guard that is confident enough to say, "Not this time."
Yeah.
Mhm.
His
That was
job is
big.
to score, so he's going to be calling for the ball. You got to have enough confidence to say, "Hey,
With enough
not this
cachet
time.
to say,
Not this
hold
time."
up.
Enough cachet.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you wave off him, you better
You better have a resume.
you better do something with it because he's gonna do something with it. That's his job.
Big
Yes.
shot
You
Billups.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
he come with the ring. He
Chauncey
come with the
come
whole
with that,
Detroit
hey,
pedigree.
yeah, listen, I'm gonna get you your touches. Just trust me. Just do as I'm telling you. Boom, boom, boom. And things.
And
are
Melo
rolling.
respected that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man. I think he gets a bad rap because I think people just don't like his swagger, man. Because he's so chill, man. He don't let things get to him. But the thing that I respected about Melo is that regardless of whatever was going on, good or bad, he stepped to the line and he took whatever that came with it. And a lot of people don't give him his props for that. Being in New York, whether it was his fault or not, he stepped to that podium every night and he took what came with it.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Even through all the as New Yorkers, let me tell, because I want to ask you about the big three in a second, but as New Yorkers, we didn't give a fuck about what Phil Jackson and them was saying. We rock with Melo.
That was crazy, man.
We different type of dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like I think the newspapers spun their own narrative. But if you go on the block right now, I promise dudes is gonna rep Melo. I promise you this.
Everybody
you know
has a Melo jersey.
Totally different.
Yeah. I got a Melo jersey in my on everything I love. I got a Melo jersey in my closet.
All hoopers love Melo, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And we will relate to that. We don't relate to stuffy old, no disrespect.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you this. A lot of, the knock on Melo was, he could have collaborated with LeBron and all them and did the big three. But around the time you were in the league, and this is fascinating to me, it was the inception of the big three. Wade, LeBron, Bosh kind of consorted together and they went to Miami, you know what I'm saying? And that was the inception of player mobility, so to speak, right? Fans looking from the outside in like we are. You're an insider, right? So we're gonna ask you this. We're like, man, that's like kind of cheating and everything.
How?
How? I know how, but I know I've heard that play because we interviewed a couple of different players. They were all for player mobility.
Yeah.
My question to you, from a player's standpoint, what was the consensus around the league when that happened?
I think guys were just mad because it's just three of the top players doing it.
But it's been done before.
Let's look at what the NBA is built on. Have there not been big threes, big fours, big cores all through the league?
Yeah.
But GM generated, not player generated, right?
Things change. Science, math, everything evolves. So when you go back to the basis of when the Celtics start running their championships up with Russell and all those guys, they had Hall of Famers down the list. Was that fair then? Are we not?
Bird, McHale, Ainge.
This is what the league is. This is what the league is. You gotta have a villain in order to tell this story. You gotta have a villain. And it just so happens that LeBron went from being the hometown kid to now y'all on me because I'm not winning a ring, but I just went against the Spurs by myself.
Yeah.
I just went against the Celtics by myself. Y'all don't understand that the amount of energy he has to expend just to keep his team in the game and then try to go win it. And then for y'all to say, "Oh, he ain't win. He's not a winner." What you mean? So okay, they linked up. Now you got Wade, Bosh, and Bron on the same floor, and it was trouble, bro. Like I ain't never seen nothing like that.
The Heatles.
The Heatles, man.
Yo, talk about playing against the Heatles. Talk about that, yo.
My Lord. But you guys had a season that on the Knicks that you guys like.
We battled them.
Yeah.
We battled them. So you got to understand these dudes were so fast in their primes, bro. Like you couldn't make a pass that floated in the air for more than a second because they was in the lane.
Right. That.
They in the lane and then they throwing that thing in the air. And you just looking up, somebody going to get it, bro. It was dangerous. It was dangerous. Being under that rim was dangerous, and man, like I said, it was dangerous, bro. That's all I can tell you. Those dudes was at the top of their game, and they was serious business, man. Real deal killers, bro. And Chris Bosh, real deal killer, bro.
And he fell back on my. I remember Chris Bosh in Canada. I remember him.
People don't.
Chris Bosh with the dreads was a monster.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Chris Bosh on Toronto.
Tell me I'm lying.
That was 28 and 12.
Yeah, man.
He was on your head
every night. Yeah, and he fell back. He turned into
that he's not a perimeter guy in the league. Those guys on the perimeter are going to have the ball. He can't throw the ball to himself. So the big guys have to take a step back. You look at Kevin Love with LeBron and Kyrie. You're in the front court. You got to take a step back because you don't control the ball. So they do other things. Well, he's able to shoot. He's able to rebound. He's able to defend. So he made himself useful in other areas. But man, before that, he was giving everybody buckets. 25, 12.
Oh yeah.
Buckets. I mean, come on.
I seen him give it the ticket a couple of times. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
He gave it to everybody. That's the thing about the league.
Yeah.
No Diddy. My bad.
That was like Ray Allen even changed his game. Ray Allen even changed his game and became a 3-point shooter.
You got to, man. You want to win, you got to adapt. So, it's just putting your pride aside and saying, like, even Dwayne Wade did that. He put his pride in his pocket and said, "Go ahead and leave, Brian." You know what I'm saying? You got to.
I know you play with D Wade. I want to get to that in a minute, but I gotta ask you one thing, man. Like, because you were in that golden era, one of the golden eras. Who was the hardest guard? Kobe.
Oh, Kobe.
Oh, you don't even need to say anything else. That's it. Kobe Bron. Kobe Bron.
I'm not debating people that ain't never been out there on that court, because
that's why we asking you.
Fans want to say this GOAT debate. They never want to add Kobe, and listen,
not GOAT. I'm talking about 1-on-1 down the lane. You got to stick somebody. Pause.
Listen, how can you guard a man that'll shoot anything?
Yeah.
And then, like, the mystique and the aura Kobe had, to actually be out there and hear this man hissing like a snake to get the ball.
What you mean, Mamba mentality? That's the real thing?
Hissing.
Oh, is that where it came from? The Black Mamba?
You'll be guarding this man in the post, and he'll be.
Word. Yo, you
man was. Oh man, that was Baby Jordan, bro.
Baby.
Yeah, hardest guard.
Hardest to guard.
AI.
Now, look, AI.
J Kidd. Dirk Nowitzki.
I caught AI in his Detroit years. He was still super fast, but he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
The aggression was gone.
John Wall. I heard John Wall was super fast.
Dumb fast.
Yeah.
He was tough to guard. Russell Westbrook.
Westbrook. Gilbert Arenas. Hibachi. You still saying Cole.
So it's a lot, but at the top of that mountain, it's Kobe Bean.
Kobe.
Wow.
And I can't forget T-Mac either. T-Mac was a terror too.
And you got to play with T-Mac. You got to play along T-Mac.
Yeah, I got to play with a lot of guys that I watched growing up, man. So I mean, I was blessed. I was blessed to be able to have those experiences, man, for sure.
That's dope. That's
so dope, man. Now you go to some dudes that we hate, man. I don't want to say hate, but I'm talking about in the perspective of basketball.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Not hate like we hate them as people, but it's the Boston and it's the Heat that we don't we particularly don't, and the Pacers we particularly don't like.
Yeah,
you get down there, 2015, Bron gone already, right? Bron gone already.
Yeah.
But Wade's still there, right?
Yeah.
Haslam's still there.
Yeah.
Chalmers, right? Chalmers is still there.
Ray Allen should be there still too.
No.
Ray Allen.
None of those guys. There was.
Yeah. So it's like the aftermath for that.
It's the year Bosch had the situation with the blood
with the heart.
Right. So it's the aftermath of those 4 hardcore years that they had. But still, you have those guys I just named. You have Eric Spoelstra, and people say Eric Spoelstra is one of the best coaches in the league, X and O wise, right?
For sure. Just everything, man. Just everything. Mentality.
Right, mentality wise.
Just being honest with his players, everything, bro.
And you have one of the GOAT slash GM slash coaches in Pat Riley, and one of the best owners.
Sure.
Talk about a little bit about the Heat culture. You're coming from the Knicks dysfunctional shit. Now you're down there with Riley and Spoelstra and Wade. Talk a little bit about Wade County over there.
The difference is just the voice. It's one voice in Miami.
Okay.
And it starts and ends with Pat Riley. Nobody bigger than Riley.
Yeah, we hate Pat Riley up here, but go ahead.
I mean,
we love him and hate him at the same time.
I understand. It's just the mindset. Even if you come in there and you ain't doing no work, you're gonna tape up and you're gonna brace up. It's just a mindset. That's just every day. You taping and you're gonna have your braces on. So it's just about work. And your leaders are, UD and Dwayne Wade, and those guys just work extremely hard.
No doubt.
No nonsense, but at the same time, they not above you. They in it with you.
Facts.
So when you got your leaders doing that, everything else has to follow suit. And like I said, it's the standard is the standard, and that's how it is. It starts with Rouse. Like, we don't wait for nobody on the plane. If you're not here, it don't matter who you are. So everybody understands that nobody's bigger than the group.
Yeah.
And that's why it works. That's why they can plug and play in anybody, because nobody's bigger than the group.
They still doing that to this day. That culture still exists to this day.
To this day, for sure.
Not word.
Wow.
So let me ask you this. So, you played on some 3 dynamic Eastern Conference teams: the Celtics, Heat, and the Knicks. Now you say you New York, man. Well, which one of those was your favorite?
Yeah, are you a Knick? Are you a Celtic? Or are you a Heat?
I identify more with I'm a Knick.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
talking about.
I
Thank
That's
you,
always,
man.
love.
I
That's
Thank you.
I'm
always,
gonna
love.
clip that. Clip it.
listen,
That's it.
I always root for New York. I mean, that was my chance to really go out there and prove to myself that
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
do this on this level. So that always holds a special place in my heart, and I always be a Knicks. So that's first and foremost. But those other places are ingratiated in me as
No
well.
doubt.
So
Yeah,
you
They
know,
a part of your story.
yes.
you know what I'm
All right.
saying. So I take characteristics, and I pull from all three of those places.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's so dope, man. Your story is like, yo, honestly, your story is crazy. You should write a book, my brother. Honestly, your
Man,
story is
listen,
insane.
all that's I'm working
You
towards
working
that.
on that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just my testimony. I just like I said, I just want to get into coaching, get into college coaching, and I want to be a leader of men. And I feel like
No doubt.
the way that I can repay my mentor Dwayne Barnes for coming and saving my life is to preach this game and teach it the right way to the next generation. So that's probably the way that I can say thank you. You know what I'm saying? So it just doing that. And that's my goal, is to get into college coaching and be out there and do my thing. I got a lot of experience, and I want to share it, man. I can help a lot of people.
I love that. I
Absolutely.
love that. That's dope.
This is Ed's question, but I'm my bad. I don't
Yeah,
want to
no,
step
go
over
ahead.
your
Go
toe.
ahead.
You know, you went from the NBA. Now you're overseas for a little bit. We ain't never been overseas like that. Balling, there's a
But
big
it's a
difference.
different grind, bro. It's a different grind.
I was gonna ask you that. You see Stephon Marbury, the culture is different, but he embraced that culture. He's like an icon over there in
Hmm.
China. A lot of players have been overseas. That's not even a thing. You go overseas and you go get that bag when you're
Yeah.
not in the NBA. Talk about like the difference, not only the difference in culture, but the difference in like the style of play. If you know,
The Euro game is more like more college. It's more movement, more
yeah,
passing, uh more coach driven, more play driven. It's not about the individual.
yeah,
So it's more system than anything. And in Europe, the coaches are the stars. So
yeah.
um, Europe wasn't really my cup of tea. I'm not really a big fan of grown men screaming derogatory remarks, talking to you all crazy. So it kind of lost me.
That's what it's like over there.
No, it's not for me, man.
Word.
I'm not. I'm big on respect. I give it, and I want to receive respect. So
Absolutely.
that, and then they play games with your salary. So we negotiate a price point, and then I'm supposed to get paid on the first. I'll get paid on the 15th of the next month. 45 days after, I'm supposed to get paid, but I'm supposed to
Wow.
render my services and be here every day, practicing, being yelled at, all this crap. It's not. That wasn't for me. I like
Wasn't your
Asia
style.
more than I like Europe. Asia was
Okay.
more my speed.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I know you played in Croatia and for a few, and you won the Croatian Cup.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
even though right now you just explained Europe wasn't your cup of tea, but how was that you reached the pinnacle of at least the
I mean,
Croatian
it
basketball
was
league?
it was fun, man. I mean, we had an awesome party after that. Just experiencing playing in Serbia and them
No
throwing
doubt.
coins and trying to flip your bus. So
Wow.
Word.
What the
Europe,
hell?
Europe, listen,
Flip your bus.
They don't play out there, I heard.
crazy, bro. Europe is
Wow.
crazy.
And there's no guns over there either, so they just
Nah,
seriously
they'll scrap
crazy.
it out. They'll scrap it out
Yeah.
and come to the game. Like they used to go. Listen, man, they would meet in the field and fight before the game.
People just
Wow.
throwing rocks
Wow.
and people throwing rocks and shit.
Man, it's a cool environment, man. It's like I haven't been anywhere where I felt like, oh, I'm in danger, but they wild, man. You'll be in the gym, they smoking cigarettes in the gym. You can't see the goal of the basket. It's smoky. They lighting firecrackers.
Hey, wow for the night over there.
Oh yeah, yeah. They got no filter and they don't care.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
man.
insane.
Yeah, you go. There's a place called Red Star. I think it's Serbia, man. Listen, I ain't never played in front of a crowd like that in my life, bro.
Word.
I mean, like it's just fireworks the whole time. They
Crazy.
shooting fireworks. It's just smoky. They loud. They throwing stuff on the court. It's an amazing atmosphere.
Man, they treating that like a soccer game.
Oh yeah, it's serious, man. It's serious for sure.
Wow.
Yo, and listen, I appreciate you spending this time with us, man. You're giving
Yes,
us
sir.
super gems.
Yes.
And if we could just hold you now for like couple more minutes, I gotta ask you a couple of things because
sure,
it's very. We don't get a lot of NBA insiders. We had a lot of world champion boxers, but it's amazing when we get an NBA guy because we're NBA guys. A couple of weeks ago, Kyrie hit that runner left hand shot in the lane, buzzer beater, right? And everyone was going crazy. Dame Lillard tweets the next day because I want to talk current shit. Dame Lillard tweets the next day. This is the most skilled player ever to play the game, right? And there was like two schools of thought in that. There was like, people like, oh, you're harking back to to the old school, and then there's like, the new school. What do you think about like Kyrie? Obviously, we all know he's amazing. Is he the most skilled player to ever play the game?
There's no way to quantify that.
Eye test. Forget about.
There's no way.
No,
because what skills are we referring to, right? Because you got a guy like Dennis Rodman. You can say Dennis Rodman is the most skilled defender.
all right, offensively, sorry.
Offensively, how can you say he's the most skilled? What's his points per game average? Right? So I would say you could say a guy like Jordan's more skilled. I mean, he's highly gifted. Once you get into this era that they're in, you're there or you're not. Right? So he's included in that group of guys that can play the game at a very high level. He's a top 75 talent. So let's just put it like that. He's the top of the top. He's that top 1% of the 1%, right?
You think Dame jumped out the window with that?
Nah, man. I mean, it just depends on your play style. Some people got Shaq as the best center ever. Some people got Kareem. I mean, there's different styles of play. There's different references, and it just depends on how you like the game being played. And I have watched these guys and studied these guys enough to know that I wouldn't disrespect one of their crafts by saying this guy's better. Like even with the LeBron and Jordan thing, right? You look at it statistically, if Jordan was able to get those 3 extra years back from going to college, right, and not taking off from the
baseball thing,
what would his numbers be? We're talking about a guy that went 15 years and was at 30-some thousand points. What if he had 5 more years?
And he might have 9 chips in a row.
And people forget that in the 80s he was scoring 35, 38. 30. What debate are we having? I listen. And we can go back. It's documented. I'm not the biggest LeBron fan. Okay, I'm not the biggest LeBron fan. I respect him. I've had to check him. I respect him. Again, he's on that top 5. I don't know how you put it. I mean, it's hard to say who is the best because
it's subjective. Magic. I get that.
Subjective. So you gotta go back and you gotta look at Magic and Bird. If we don't have Magic and Bird, you don't even get LeBron. You don't get there. So we talking about influence. We talking about somebody's importance to the game, and y'all want to skip over Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, and then you got these new dudes on the internet. I got to get this off my chest. We done with the 90s. We done with the 80s.
Nah, never.
Oh, that's the foundation. I didn't like that, man.
That's the foundation. I don't like when they. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just don't like as well when they talk about all these guys back in the days were plumbers and stuff like that. That's disrespectful.
No, but that 90s, 80s shit is current.
Elgin Baylor is busting ass.
You're a student of the game.
Is busting ass.
Thank you.
Will Chamberlain is busting ass. What are y'all? Bill Russell's out there. He's doing what they're doing. These guys were elite level athletes.
Thank you.
Elite level athletes. You got a guy. I can't disrespect the game like that, man. Because I see it evolves. Yes. You have to have one before you can have the other, man. You have to have a Dr. J so you can have a Michael Jordan.
Yes.
You got to have the inspiration. You got to have Michael Jordan before you can have Kobe.
Yes.
You got to have Jordan, Kobe, Magic, Bird. You got to have all these guys so you can breed the next group, the next group. Because what I look at with LeBron, because he does so much on the court, he's not a specialist in just like as a scorer like Jordan. He puts me like Magic Johnson.
Yes.
And the more and more I watch Bron and the more and more I watch Magic, it's the same type of influence on the game.
People, that's been said before. People don't fear LeBron. They respect him. Jordan put that fear in you. But when you said I'm not the biggest LeBron guy, and I'm not trying to cause no shit.
Don't let guys get the line to y'all for clicks and views. They don't fear LeBron. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But why do you say? I gotta ask you this because you was like, and I don't want you to say anything derogatory about LeBron, but you said I'm not the biggest LeBron guy.
No.
Why? Why do you say
not.
that? Yeah. Wasn't nothing personal on the court?
No, there's nothing personal.
You dunked on him and he didn't invite you to the All-Star Weekend party?
Nah. Listen, man, I played in Ohio.
LeBron asked you for your at the yacht.
No, man. Listen, I have the utmost respect for LeBron James, bro.
No doubt. I'm only fucking with you, brother.
He's just not my cup of tea. Like,
no doubt.
That's fine.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't like Giannis either. I mean, I don't like his game. I respect him.
Giannis don't have no game.
I mean, that's subjective.
No, he don't have a game, brother.
That's subjective.
He has a spin move and he can dunk. Let's be honest. LeBron ain't got no. LeBron, as I said, Giannis ain't got no go-to move.
When you get in the skills,
he's over here creating Dragon Ball Z.
And I respect Giannis. He's strong. He's athletic. But like we talked about Melo's foot. Hold on, we talked about Melo's footwork. Huh?
You could say the same thing about
You could.
It's not about skills. It's about how you put the ball in the hole. So
it's not about skills?
Not. Can he score or not?
Okay. I'll defer to you. I'm just
saying, is he effective in how he plays?
Yeah.
Yes.
But then when you're saying it's not about skills, you're taking away from dudes like you're talking about Melo and Kobe with the crazy footwork. They have to be
to play the game. If Melo was 7 foot, and could do the things Giannis could do you think he would do the things Giannis could do? You only can do what your body allows you to do.
Yeah.
So
is that true though, or is it has to do with work in the gym?
So you don't think Giannis is working on his jumper every day?
You're probably right. His jumper's improved, but I feel like he don't have a go-to move.
So he'll never be a shooter. He'll never be JJ Redick.
What about his moves? He don't have that go-to move, right? Am I bugging?
And you're not, but that's what's going to hurt him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because if you can stop him and stop his momentum and make him play in front of you, then it's a different game. Yeah, he's still going to get to his spots every now and then and yam on you because he's a high-level player, bro. But
like you take like Jokic.
That's unguardable there, brother.
Unguardable.
High IQ too.
That's unguardable.
Even
there, that's a lot.
Even
of
Embiid has footwork.
That's a lot of skill work.
Yeah.
Now Embiid and Joker don't have the athleticism of Giannis.
Yes, that's true.
You see what I'm saying?
But what happened when that athleticism declines? Now you like Kobe and Jordan. That turnaround footwork shit was.
He'll decline. He'll fade out.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like Sean Kemp.
Wow. Big name drop.
Great analysis. Great.
Sean Kemp was flying high on everybody.
He wasn't. And then it's like, damn, what happened to Sean?
Yeah.
Right? He ain't the Rain Man no more. It happened.
It happened to Blake Griffin.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you talking about a guy like, Kobe. You talking about outliers. Kobe played for such a long time and was able to play at such a high level like that. LeBron, such a long time and at such a high level. You're not going to see that type of stuff again. Right? Where a guy comes in at 18 years old and plays till he's 40. It's tough. It's tough. He's blessed.
That is tough.
The gift.
So we talked about different eras. And
you giving us game, but respect. You giving us a lot of game, man.
For real, man. So now I gotta ask this question. So we talked about different eras, and obviously, man, you could probably replace all three of us on this show just by the Kenny Walker Drunk Sports Talk sober. But you touched on different eras. Do you see this next evolution or this next, the future of the NBA changing, or do you see it just reverting back somehow to like older NBA style of play with more defense and more big man play?
What happened to the league right now is you took the elder statesman out the locker room. You went for youth and athleticism, and you took guys like you need a Sam Cassell around in your locker room. You need a Chauncey Billups. Even if he's not going to play, you need him in your locker room.
Leadership.
You need the leadership. And you see why some teams look. Just take the Hornets for example. You don't think that they need some self-control?
Oh yes.
You don't think
the young boys wilding out, dunking, but no, yeah.
Hey, this is how we conduct business. This is how we go about the. You have to. You don't come into the league already knowing everything. You have to learn how to be a pro, bro. You have to learn how to how to get through this, how you supposed to rest, how you supposed to stretch, what you supposed to do every day to get your body ready to perform.
Yeah.
You have to have guys in there that have been doing it so they can teach the next generation. That's
Yes.
law.
Facts.
Yes,
And
to teach accountability.
yes, and you got this culture now where everything is like, I hate to say it because everybody, they say the generation is soft. It is, bro. And you look at American sports and you look at the Euro, when they identify a guy that can play professional basketball, he could be 13 years old. You know where he's going to go? He's going to go to the club team.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to learn under other professionals
Mm-hmm.
until he's able to contribute to the team.
Facts.
Now imagine you had Anthony Edwards at 14 in Georgia, and they said, you know what? This dude, Anthony Edwards, we identify this guy as he's going to be the next one. Let's bring him to the Hawks facility every day.
Yeah.
At 14 years old, if they would have, if they could work with him from 14 into the draft,
Elite.
I thought
More elite.
this is what the G League is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
supposed to be the factory.
Yes.
You're supposed to put these teams in all of these cities, and you should be identifying. All right, these are the next ones. You have the resources to bring these kids in, teach them financial literacy because that's not being taught.
No.
Yeah.
At
Speak
all.
on it.
It's a game. If they don't teach you financial literacy, they can steal it from you. And you wonder why it happens. Okay, boom. 2, you can identify these guys, bring them in here, and teach them how to play the game the right way, fundamentals. Because that's what's being lost. It's just a culture of roll the balls out and just hoop without learning how to play the game. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Some of these guys get to the league and they don't know the terminology. They don't know where the elbow's at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They don't know what a V cut is.
Yeah,
They don't know what an Iverson cut is.
Wow.
Let me ask you this.
And that's been lost in AAU. That's been lost. Even Kobe, late great Kobe, he was talking about that. How
But
Pin down screens, but
yeah.
let me ask you this because you brought up a great point. You're talking about Anthony Edwards practicing with the Hawks and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kobe Bryant's father used to bring him to the 76ers gym. He used to get wrecked with like Derek Coleman, Billy Burton, and those guys, right?
Yeah.
So that's essential. You came in the league pre like the 3-point the 3-point boom, so to speak.
We was right there at the beginning.
You was right on the cusp of that shit, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about today's game in your opinion? The spacing? Do you think it's soft? Do you think it's more a skilled game? What's your opinion on that?
Well, this is the thing, right?
Yeah.
When they took the physicality of being able to play defense and being able to actually touch the offender, right?
Yeah.
No Diddy.
No Diddy.
Being able to be physical, being able to hand check, being able to actually put your body and play defense. Once they took that out, it's like rec league. Of course, these guys are too talented. If I can't check you or if I can't touch you and you got freedom of movement, how am I going to guard any of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that hand check was big.
How am I going to guard any of it? You go between and across, and I can't touch you, and I can't impede your progress. It's a foul. Then how am I supposed to play defense?
Yeah.
Then you get to the All-Star game, everybody complaining. This is what y'all wanted. Y'all took defense out the game. Y'all wanted a faster pace. Y'all wanted a faster pace, and this is what comes with it.
Preach.
Yeah.
Speaking
of the All-Star shit, man, I got so much. You keep every time I'm getting ready to do this, you bring some shit up that's sparking me up. Real quick, what do you think of the dunk contest? If you was a super dunker.
I just, like I said, they ain't respecting it, man.
Mm-hmm.
They're not respecting
the
it.
The guards
They're
ain't in it. The guards ain't balling.
The players are not respecting what's been handed to them, man.
Yeah.
I would have been dying for a chance to go to the slam dunk contest, my brother.
You would have killed it too.
And they all this player management and missing games, man. I'm dying to get on the court. You understand what I'm saying? I don't understand it. So the All-Star game is lost its glow, bro. Because they don't go hard. They don't go hard.
Yeah,
you understand?
Yeah, I fell asleep during this year's All-Star game. I honestly fell asleep.
First half, y'all do y'all thing. All right, y'all do y'all thing. But once that third quarter hit, like, come on, man, let's get to it.
Yeah.
Let's get to it because this is what we're producing to the world. These are our biggest stars in the game,
Right.
all in one place at one time.
This is
And
our commercial to the world.
This is what we're advertising. This is
Yeah.
our game, and this is the shit y'all coming out here with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like y'all not
facts.
respecting what this is what I say, like the history of the game. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
not respecting the OGs. Y'all
Yep.
not respecting Clyde and them. Y'all not respecting them OGs that went out there playing for way less than what y'all getting now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Y'all not respecting that.
The forefathers, the dudes
That's
that
what's
kicked in the
lost. The
door.
respect.
Foundation,
It's the
yes.
respect. You're not respecting the KGs that went out there and gave it all. You're not
Yeah.
respecting it. You're not respecting what's
That's
been
a
laid
fact,
at your
though.
feet, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
That is
That's a fact.
a big
And
fact.
it's disrespectful for the consumer. So at some point, they're gonna have to figure out what they got to do because it's all about the consumer. If people stop watching, they know why. You know why? People want to see a competitive game, man.
Yes. I agree with you 100%, Mr. Walker. I like I was saying, I fell asleep after the first quarter. I couldn't watch
I ain't
anymore.
even watch it, man.
You
I
know,
ain't watched the dunk contest.
yeah,
I ain't watched none of it.
I couldn't.
Yo.
I just like, you know what? I'm gonna go to bed. Even my wife
It's
was like, "Can you go to?"
All-Star weekend. It's
Yeah.
All-Star weekend. So it should be all stars.
Yes.
Yeah.
All-Star weekend.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's supposed to be the biggest and brightest in the game. The
Yeah.
best three-point shooters, the best dunkers, the best. This should be the best pickup game people see year round until it come back again.
Yo,
Preach.
earlier in the interview, you said you want to be a leader of men. You said you want to coach college games. You're a student of the game. You respect the game. Yo, dude, you're gonna be a great fucking coach,
Yes.
man. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I
Honestly,
appreciate it.
I got nothing but respect for you. Let's talk about last thing. I know you got to get out of here. I know you're a busy man. You said before we said are you a Boston Celtic? Are you a Knick or are you a Heat? You said I'm a Knick, right? So let's talk Knicks. The Knicks this year, right? Leon Rose, we was killing Leon Rose. We was killing Juju for these last couple years. They're balling out right now. Jalen Rose.
Let that man cook.
Let that man cook. $100 million contract was a steal. Mark Cuban and them dropped the ball on that, not signing Jalen Brunson. To our benefit, we got him. They're DiVincenzo, role player everywhere else, starter here. Josh Hart, role player everywhere else, starter here. Juju, we talked about Carmelo running towards the fire, right?
Yeah.
We said that he wanted to be a Knick. It's a different type of mentality you have to be in a Knick. Let's put some respect on Juju's name, right?
Yeah,
Just
sure.
down the line from Tibbs and everything. Your take on the Knicks this year?
Listen, I mean, like I said, you're gonna need luck. You're gonna need luck, but anything can happen when you get in the playoffs, man. You just got to get there. You get there, and then it's about taking advantage of the matchups. And those guys are in position where they can contribute. They've been given the chance to go out there and play through mistakes and figure it out. So that's why you see Josh Hart and DiVincenzo and those guys being able to excel right now because they're allowed to go out there and play through mistakes. Tibbs is great at that. He's gonna preach that.
He never used to be great at that. He's now great at that.
But as he's supposed to get better as a coach, right?
No doubt.
Right? He's supposed to learn and adapt. You talking about a guy that's from the '90s, bro. We talking about Tibbs here.
Yes,
Hard
man.
nose.
Didn't you play on the Tibbs? Didn't you play on the Tibbs with Boston?
Yeah, I played on the Tibbs in Boston. So we talking about somebody that's hard nosed, no nonsense, man.
Yes.
We talking about that '90s area, that physicality.
He's evolving.
Man, he's adapted through what four eras, bro.
Yes.
So give him credit. He's becoming
credit.
He's getting better at his craft, right? So he's allowing those guys. Okay, I can't grind you up to where you lock up on me and I can't get nothing out of you. So he's kind of loosened up his approach and
playing
those
young
guys. Taking off. They taking off. You have to these days. You don't have any super vets anymore. The league is young as it's ever been.
But when Tibbs got here, it was let Obi cook, let Quickly cook, let the young boys cook, and he were like in the beginning he was let's give him. I'm trying to give him some credit. He's evolved because now he's playing guys like McBride, guys like Sims, guys like these young guys. So let's give Tibbs a little bit of credit. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. He's identified what he needs in his system that's going to make those guys go, and those young guys are providing it. And as long as they can, but the playoffs are different. If they can give you the same type of production in the playoffs, and then your two dogs, your two main horses, Jew and
JB,
and they gotta be who they gotta be in order, because that's with any team. It's like the Warriors. They got their main guys got to be their main guys for it to work. LeBron
fully healthy. How far can we go?
You got to be healthy and you gotta be lucky, man. You gotta be healthy, and you gotta be locked in, and you need some luck. You need some luck, man.
Do you feel like the current state of the Knicks roster could compete for a championship, or do you think they're missing
fully healthy?
Fully healthy, or they're missing one key piece?
Fully healthy,
Good question.
I mean, it can happen in the East because it's spread out, and you see Dame and Milwaukee, they can be beat. Boston is kind of looking like they can pull away, but you never know.
Not these last 2 weeks. They ain't been looking like that.
You know, but
They're
we
being
know
smashed.
that, you know, when it gets to playoff time, they've been there before. So that's it. But if Julius can get healthy and get back in rhythm, who knows, man?
How good is Julius? How good is because like if you're a New Yorker, right? There's been two schools of thoughts on Julius. There's the Julius advocates and the Julius detractors, right? I always said on the show, and that if you watch the show, you know, 25 and 10 don't go on trees. All NBA positions don't go on trees. All star positions don't go on trees. He's evolved since he's been in the Lakers. He's evolved since he's been in the Pelicans. Put some respect on his name, but you still have Julius detractors. How good can Julius be? Can he be a number one or number one A piece on a championship team?
Yeah, he can be 2.
Is it 2?
He can be 2.
Okay.
But when I say that, not saying that because he's the 2 that he can't step up and be that 1. Because every now and then you need Batman. You need 2 Batmans. You need Batman.
Yeah. Facts.
Right. So how they play, and again, he's a front court player. So you got to understand that he has to get the ball delivered to him. He can't create.
Yeah.
And even when he does create, it's because the ball's been delivered to him, and then he plays off of it. You understand what I'm saying? So it's kind of different for the bigs.
Yeah.
You know, it's just different. But him fully healthy, and I think his aggression, he got to get to the cup. You know, he's got to get to the cup. Keep putting pressure on that rim. Get to that free throw line. And just keep doing that continuously the whole game. And then your 3 will fall because you'll be in such a good rhythm. And that'll be the thing that'll get them over the hump. But he's got to attack the rim. He's got to have so much aggression going to that rim that he's got to have it in his mind that, look, that's where I'm going every play until y'all stop it.
And I feel like that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
and once he does that, they'll take off, man.
Yeah, I feel like that's what he was doing this year. He went back and playing that bully ball. We were saying that a lot throughout the show. This whole season, he was playing that bully ball. That's why he got better after the first 8 games, and his 3 was falling, his percentage was going up. You know,
he's in a good rhythm.
Yeah, it was in a good rhythm. Everything was gelling. That's why, it was like we lost all the air left in the room when he got hurt. It was like, damn, what we're gonna go to now.
That's a dog. When you out there on the court and you know that you got a dog in the fight, it's different. So when that dog go down, it does take the air out the room. It's like, how the hell we gonna replace that? We looking around like who can we replace that with?
I mean, shout out to Precious. Precious been holding it down, but there's no
he's not Jew.
He's not Jew.
He's not Jew. And neither is Carl Anthony Towns.
No.
I do not want to call it. And he's in the same predicament we are with you right now.
Yeah, y'all. I mean, it happens, man. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. You want these guys to go out there and play hard, and that's what you risk. You risk getting hurt, man. It's the game.
It's a freak accident too. You know, we had to play the dirty heat, man. The way he fell down, he was going.
Yo, I know you. I know you're a former Heat, but yo, them dudes is wilding over there. Bam Adebayo.
You gotta get it how you get it, man.
Yo, Bam Adebayo looking funny in the light, man. Sliding his ankle under Julius last season.
You gotta get it how you get it.
What you mean? You gotta get it how you get it? What that means?
It's a dog fight.
It's a doggy dog world.
It's a dog fight.
Ain't no rules in it, man. Ain't no rules in it.
Look who used to do that all the time. Bruce Bowen.
Zaza Pachulia.
Zaza Pachulia against Quiet. Yeah, that was some bullshit. Yeah.
So, you know.
That's crazy. What do you feel? What do you feel about Jalen Brunson? Him being our point guard running this team.
I think it was ordained, man. I think that. I mean, that was. It's just it's a beautiful story, man. It's pops, just everything, man. He embodies what New York is. Man.
Yes. Top 5 dead or alive point guard, Jadakiss shit. Nah. Whoa.
What I'm saying is this: it's too early.
He said, "Nah,
it's too early."
Ain't like that.
I'm not debating or questioning his skills. The man got game. it's just early. He's still painting his picture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Facts. Good.
Yeah.
That's
Great. That's great. I'll be jumping out the window a little bit. I'm like, hey, he's a point
I
guard.
mean, I
I
understand
agree.
it. And when you ain't had that type of guy in a long time on your team, and you get that, that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to bring excitement. It's supposed to bring you to the gym. It's supposed to make you anxious to see this because it's a show, man. And he does his best. He puts on the show, man. And I'm a believer. I love his game, man. I love the fight he got in him, and
it goes back to that Giannis semi debate we had. Giannis, Kobe, right? Jalen plays under the rim, right? The footwork, the strength.
That's a skill
the
too.
Skill,
right?
the skill, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Being able to finish how he finished, get to the spot, shoot over guys. That's skill.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, because you look at Jalen, you're like, well, he can't run faster than nobody. He really don't jump higher than nobody. His jump shot is, decent, but this like this weird rhythm. He almost has that Luka rhythm, right? He almost
but he gets it's crazy work, man. Like
the offbeat.
He gets in the rhythm. And he gets to his spots, man. And one thing you notice about the pros and the guys that are professional scorers, they get to their spots. You see a pattern in their game. You can go back and watch 10 or 15 games of him just scoring the ball, and you're gonna see that he's scoring from the same spots every game.
Yes,
because those are kill spots. There's kill spots on the floor. They're different for every player and play style. So, the great ones get to their spots and they do it all game. You know what I'm saying? And he's becoming a great scorer.
Last question, man, and I appreciate you coming. What's next for you, my brother?
For me, man, coaching, man. So right now I'm doing my little personal training and stuff like that. So teaching the game. I'm going back to get my degree, so I can get on that sideline. I really have a desire to coach and teach the game. So. And I want to get on that level. I see these guys. I have a lot to offer the game. I have 16 years of pro experience. I've been in every single scenario with basketball, and I've made the NBA twice. Right? I've been to the G League. I've grinded my way out of the G League, making it back to the league. So I mean, I've been highly recruited. I've been hurt. I've had to pick myself up. Like I got a testimony that I think a lot of young kids can use and see themselves and elevate themselves as well. And I want to see as many young guys that I can relate to get to the league. You know what I'm saying? I know exactly the ins and outs of it. So my thing is like Coach Calipari. I'm trying to be that springboard for guys to, boom, jump and take care of their families, but learn the game the right way. Learn, come to where I'm at, learn how to be a pro, learn how to carry yourself, and learn what to look for and be ready for.
Where does it start? High school? Where does the coaching journey start?
Well, right now I just got to get my degree, and then there's spots available. It's just just having that degree. So
it's contingent upon a degree.
Yeah. Okay. And for me, I also want to go back because I felt like getting hurt. I didn't have a chance to walk the stage and
do the walk
and do that. So. This will be like sort of a redemption song for me as well, being able to walk across the stage. And, I got 3 daughters too. So,
all right. We girl dads over here. We all
girl dads here. Shout
out. I'm trying to set the bar. Like, why? If I tell them that you can do anything you put your mind to, then why would I limit myself? So I'm just trying to be what I preach, man. And I think if everybody took that approach and just try to be more of what they want to be, you know what I'm saying? What you see yourself as, and you start taking steps to that, you'll achieve great things, man. And I think more people need to do that, and more people need to hear that. More people need encouragement, man. Just step out and be your best self, man.
Facts, man. One of the best interviews we ever done, man. Yo, we got mad love for you. We just want to give you your flowers.
Hey, man, I appreciate it.
I'm inspired. You inspire me, my brother. I bullshit you now. You inspire me, my brother. Honestly, and it goes beyond. It goes beyond the jumping. It goes beyond the basketball skills. It's life skills. Life skills. Real talk.
Right. It goes beyond. Yeah, word up. Because you was probably my height at like 3rd grade.
Bro, I appreciate you guys, for real. And if you guys need me on anytime, man, just
would you jump back on with us? Talk some playoff basketball.
Of course, my brother.
We appreciate that, man.
I respected y'all. I've been a fan. I've been watching.
Thank you so much, my brother. Likewise.
Thank you, my brother.
Let's definitely stay in touch. Come back on during the playoffs.
Hey man, hit me, man. I'm here.
All right, let's do it.
Well,
Appreciate you, my brother.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it,
God
brother,
bless
man.
y'all,
Always
man.
Much
wishing you the
love.
best, man.
Peace.
God bless you
All right,
too,
peace.
man. Peace.